All right, welcome to Chapter 2, Section 5. We are going to use technology to find roots of polynomial equations. So what does that mean? In regular terms, we're going to use our TI graphing calculator to find the roots of equations. And another way to write roots is roots is x-intercepts. So we are going to find x-intercepts using our graphing calculators. So let's look at page number 2 here. And the question says, how many real roots, not imaginary, how many real roots do the following polynomials have? Real roots are the x-intercepts, okay? The x-intercepts. So if we look at an example here, x cubed minus 2x plus 3 equals 0. It's a sideways s because it's an x cubed. How many real roots does it have? Well, if you notice, let me change the color here. If you notice, it only crosses the x-axis once. So it has one real root. Now, how many roots should it have? It should have 3 because the exponent's 3, but it only has one real one. That means then it has 2 imaginary. So if it has 2 real, then it has to have 2 other that are imaginary. Okay? But this one right here has one real root because it crosses the x-axis once. Okay, now let's look at the middle one. X cubed minus 4x equals 1. Oops. This should be a, let me actually fix this now. This should be a minus 1. Okay, this is our equation. How many real roots does this one have? Well, how many times does it cross the x-axis? 1, 2, 3. So this one has 3 real roots. Okay? Now, let's look at the third graph over. X to the fourth minus x cubed plus 2 equals 0. Here is the graph of that. This is an x to the fourth. How many times does this cross the x-axis? 0 times. So it has 0 real roots. How many imaginary does it have? Well, it has to have 4 imaginary then. If it has 0 reals, and we know it has to have 4 because it's an x to the fourth. If there's 0 reals, then it's got to have 4 imaginary. So to answer the question, it has 0 real roots. Okay? So what we're going to do next is we are going to use our calculators in order to figure out how many roots this equation has. So it says, use your calculator to find the real roots of the following equation. X cubed minus x squared minus 5x plus 2 equals 0. So we are going to go to the calculator. And if you notice here, I have x cubed minus x squared minus 5x plus 2. Let me just make sure that that's the correct equation, which it is. Okay, so once you type the equation in, you're going to hit graph. And here it is. So it has one in the middle, one on the right. So one on the left, one on the middle, one on the right. It has 3 real roots. So let me show you how we're going to do this. To find the roots, we're going to hit second trace. And which one do you think we're going to go to? Value, 0, minimum, maximum, intersect, dy over dx, or f of x dx. We are going to do number 2, the one that says 0. Okay, roots and zeros are the same thing. Okay. Now, you should see a cursor here. Let's find the 0 on the left. Okay, so the 0 is right here. Okay, it's right here. Okay, so we want to be to the left. It says left bound. Notice how it says left bound. Left of that 0, which is right on the x-axis, would be below it. So we just want to make sure the calculator is below it, because if we drew a line straight up, okay, straight up here, if you notice, that would be to the left of it. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter there. And then it says right bound, so that means we want to go on the other side of it, so we need to go above it. Okay, notice if I drew a line straight down, okay, that would be to the right. Say. So I'm going to hit enter there, and then when it says guess, you hit enter again, and it should give you our 0. Okay, so this 0 is at negative 2, comma, the y, e to the negative 12th, that just means 0. Negative 1, e to the negative, that just means 0, and it should be right on the x-axis. So the y should always be equal to 0. So negative 2, 0. Okay, so negative 2, 0 is one of them. So negative 2, 0 is one of my real roots. Okay, let's find the other one. Now we're going to find the one in the middle. So we'll find the one in the second trace, go down to 2, which is 0. And now we're going to find this one in the middle. So now where would left of it be? Okay, if I'm here, left of it is above it now. So left of it would be above it. So I'm going to hit enter above it. I just want to make sure I'm on that side. Okay, so I'm above it now. Enter there. Then it says right bound. That would be below it, so I draw my line straight up. So we're good there, and then hit enter, and then when it says guess, you hit enter again. And our 0 is 0.38, comma 0. 0.38, comma 0. So 0.38, comma 0. That's our second real root. Okay, let's do the third one. It's over here to the right. So second trace 0, enter. It says left bound now. Left for this one is now below it again. So if I'm below it and I go straight up, I'm to the left of it, if you can see my cursor. So I want to hit enter below it, enter, and then if you're above it, that's to the right now, hit enter, enter again, 2.62, and then remember this e to the negative 12th is 0, so 2.62, comma 0. And there are my three real roots. Okay, there are my three real roots. So negative 2, 0.38, and 2.62 are my three real roots. Okay, so let's go to the next example. Let's do another one. X cubed minus 3x plus 1, it wants the real roots. So I'm going to go back to my calculator, and if you notice, I have both of the equations in here. I'm going to turn off the first one, and I'm going to go down to the equal sign and turn on the second one. So x cubed minus 3x plus 1 is what the graph I'm going to do now. So I hit graph. Okay, once again, this one has 3. So I'm going to find this one on the left first. So second trace, 0. Let's do the one on the far left. So left bound would be right below it. Enter there. Right bound would be above it now. Enter there. Guess means enter. Negative 1.88, comma 0. So negative 1.88, comma 0. Okay. Now let's go to the middle one. So we're going to find the one in the middle. So second trace 0. It says left bound. So left of this point in the middle would be on above it this time, because if you draw a line straight down, you're to the left. So enter above. Right bound would be below. Enter. And when it says guess, you'd enter again. 0.35, comma 0. 0.35, comma 0. So 0.35, comma 0. And then now let's find the last one. Now I'm going to find the one on the right. So second trace 0. Left bound would be below. Right bound would be above. Enter, enter on guess. 1.53, comma 0. You only need to go to 2 decimal places. So 1.53, comma 0. And there are 3 real roots. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll do more examples tomorrow. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.